O'Neill Outside is presented by CVA. It's just a better gun. Today, O'Neill visits the Whitetail Institute of North America to learn about food plots and how they provide all-important nutrition for whitetail deer. O'Neill's guest is Steve Scott, Vice President of the Whitetail Institute. He shares the Institute's ongoing research and explains why every hunter should consider installing a food plot on their hunting property.
What about food plots? What is a food plot? These guys right here, a lot of them don't know.
You know, a food plot is, I guess it's an evolution. Back years ago, people planted what we would consider a green field. In other words, they go out and scratch some ground out, throw a little fertilizer out, plant some wheat, rye, and oats, and maybe attract a few deer during hunting season. Okay. But food plot is something it's an evolution from those green fields to seeds that you can plant that not only attract deer, but are very, very good nutritionally, helping bucks grow bigger antlers, you know, helping the animals, you know, put on more weight, the does produce more milk for their fawns. So a food plot is just a scientific evolution of an old green field.
How long have you been doing this?
We started Whitetail Institute in 1988, so it's been going on for a long time.
You're a veteran at it.
Yeah, absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely, had a lot of fun.
People are watching right now, and I get letters all the time. I've only got 10 acres. Is it worthwhile to put a food plot in?
Absolutely. We deal with people that, you know, have thousands and thousands of acres that they manage, but we've also got people that, you know, have 5, 10, 15 acres that maybe their grandfather has, or just a small place that they can hunt. And most of the time when they call, they have a deer that passes through or cuts a corner every now and then, but they want to get more deer on their property. And food plots is a great way to do that. And the reason being is when you've got a small piece of property, you want to make it as attractive as you possibly can so that they'll spend more time on the property as opposed to just pass it through. And a good quality food plot is probably the best way to do that.
Well, come to think of it, if you've got a piece of property and you don't have a food plot, and the guy next door does, the deer are going to be over there.
They will, and you know, and if you both got a food plot, it's going to depend on which one's more preferred. And you know, and of course, you know, you've got, you know, mash trees that can help you early in the season when the acorns are dropping. You know, that's a great place to hunt. But as far as the season long, if you're going to be hunting the entire season, early season and late season, a food plot is definitely going to help you a lot.
Guy's sitting on the couch right here, and he's watching us, and he's a deer hunter, but he's never put in a food plot before. What would you tell him?
You know, when he decides to plant a food plot, it's going to be one of the best things he can do to improve the quality of his hunting. As far as having more deer and better quality deer, it's going to do that for him. I'll also say this, once he commits to doing a food plot, if somebody watching this show, if they don't get anything else from it, if they'll remember this one thing, if they're going to do a food plot, make sure they do a soil test before they plant a food plot. Soil test is very easy to do, very inexpensive to do, but the information that they'll get from doing that test is invaluable. They'll know exactly what they need to put into that soil from fertilizer and or lime to allow the seeds that they put out to really flourish. It can be the difference between the best food plot somebody can imagine and total failure.
Okay. Can you help them with that?
Absolutely. You know, they can get a soil test done. It's going to cost them $10, $12, very inexpensive. They can get it done at Soil Conservation Service, agriculture universities, and we do them here at the Whitetail Institute. We'd love for them to call us. We can send them everything they need to get it done with the instructions. We also have an 800 number. If they get something on the report, they're not sure what it's telling them, they can call our 800 number. We've got consultants available. The call's free, the consulting's free. We can help them get through it and get started, do it right.
More about food plots and why you should put one in your property when we get back.
O'Neill Outside, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Bill Jordan's REALTREE, family, friends, and the outdoors. Loyal pet food for a lifetime. And XGO, the first layer of defense.
O'Neill here with a new comfortable base layer for outdoorsmen. It's called XGO. You may know about it already. It's been used by the military for over 10 years, and if it's right for them, it's certainly right for us. The Acclimate Dry Moisture Wicking technology keeps you warm, comfortable, and dry under any conditions, while AG47 Silver controls scent-causing bacteria. XGO, 100% made in the USA and only available at ProXGO.com outdoors.
CVA's new Acura MR. Its premium Bergara barrel guarantees it to be the most accurate muzzleloader you've ever shot. Or your money back. Visit CVA.com for details.
In my career, I've learned a thing or two about having the right equipment and a great crew. I've also learned how great it is to do the things you love. That's why I'm happy to be part of the Bass Pro family, because a name you can trust, people who stand behind you, and the equipment you can count on mean everything to me. Bass Pro Shops, where commitment, passion, and the great outdoors all come together.
You own guns, here's a protection system you've just got to have. Gun Protect. It inhibits rust at the molecular level. How? The cloak emits a vapor to create a corrosion-inhibiting skin that attaches to all metals and locks out corrosion. Gun Protect cloaks are designed for your long guns and for your handguns. There's even a cloak to protect your ammo. Use Gun Protect at home or in the field. Gun Protect, total protection at the molecular level.
YearOneWheels.com is your source for muscle car wheels. Classic styles in original and modern sizes. And now available 17-inch 5-spoke and snowflake wheels as low as $199 each. Update your muscle car now. Visit YearOneWheels.com.
Today, O'Neill is in Pentlala, Alabama, visiting the Whitetail Institute of North America and learning all about food plots.
How do I decide what to plant? My goodness, there's hundreds, if not thousands.
There's a lot of choices out there, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things people fight with is trying to decide, you know, there's so many products out there and so many different claims and things like that. How do I pick out what's best for me? It's not that complicated. The first decision they really need to make is, do they want to plant what we call a perennial, which is something that you can plant, will last for several years.
Plant it once.
Plant it one time and it can last up to 5 years from a single plant.
Every year. Okay.
Continues to grow.
Okay.
A little bit of maintenance is required on them, but it can grow and provide food for your deer for many, many years. Or do they want to plant an annual, something that grows faster, but it's more seasonal specific. In other words, they want to plant a fall and winter annual in the late summer, early fall, and it's designed really to attract deer and provide some nourishment during the fall and winter months.
Okay, that's a
hunting.
deer food plot.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Well, that would be more of an attractant type food plot.
Okay, gotcha.
Whereas a perennial will be very attractive during the fall and winter season, but also provide great nutrition during the spring and summer when antlers are being grown.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, we want the deer that are there to come to our food plot this fall and winter, but we also want to provide nourishment that will provide us a better quality herd to hunt in future years.
Okay.
And you know, the ideal thing someone can do is have a combination of about 50-50. In other words, 50% perennials, something that's going to be there year round, and then the other 50% annuals designed to plant for hunting season or designed to plant in the spring to provide a lot of tonnage.
Let's go all the way back to 1988. You've had customers all this time now. What are they telling you about the quality of their deer and the herd? What's the response?
You know, there's rarely a day goes by that we don't get someone calling and, you know, they're enjoying the best hunting they've ever had, you know, for whether it be, you know, more deer or better quality deer. And, you know, certainly an emphasis on better quality deer, because when we started in 1988, you know, food plot was foreign to a large part of the country. But as people have implemented food plots, they've implemented the other sound management practices, letting younger bucks grow up. You know, it just works. When you let a deer get closer to maturity and you feed him good all along the way, he's going to be a better quality animal. One thing I'll mention too is a good friend of mine, Brad Herndon in Indiana, did some research on the Boone and Crockett record books and the Pope and Young record books several years ago. And since we started what we do, promoting food plots and sound management principles, a deer hunter today is 500% more likely to kill a deer that will qualify for the Boone and Crockett and or the Pope and Young record books than he was prior to people starting to implement these management practices.
Steve, this guy's decided to put a food plot in. Dedicated, he's ready. When is he going to see results, and what will those results be?
That's a great question, and that's some misinformation as far as I'm concerned that's out there, that it takes 3 or 4 or 5 years to see results from your food plot efforts. I don't think so, and the reason I say that is once they put in a food plot, the immediate results they'll see, if it's a good quality food plot, is more deer and increased buck activity. And they should see that the first season, simply because they're going to be holding a lot of does on that food plot. It's the bucks too, but when the rut starts, you know what happens. When the does are feeding, the bucks are going to be close behind. So they'll see that immediately. And then each year thereafter, when the herd has a better quality, more nutritious food plot out there, each year thereafter, they should see improved quality on their animals in each age class. And then once it's been there for 3 or 4 or 5 years, then all the deer that are under 5 years old have had that high quality nutrition available their entire life. They've got a chance to maximize their genetic potential.
Am I correct when I say when you do this, put the food plots in, the hunting season now is long. You're involved year-round, aren't you?
Yeah, you are, and it's something that we've had that comment a lot, that some of these guys we've been dealing with for 20-something years, you know, they say a lot of times, I've gotten to where I enjoy managing the land and managing the deer herd almost as much as I do the hunting itself. It's a year-round endeavor if they want it to be, as opposed to just for a few weeks during the year.
Well, you got some pride in it.
Absolutely. You know, food plots take some effort, they take some time, and they take some money. And you know, I'm sure there's been many people in the past that, you know, sitting out there with, you know, dust in their nose and in their eyes, and they're sweating and it's hot and something's broke, and they're probably calling us some pretty bad names at that particular point in time.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, how did I get into this? But here's what'll happen is, once they do all that and they put that effort, time, and money into it, and come November, when they're on the downwind side of that food plot and it's, you know, half hour before dark, and all of a sudden it starts filling up with deer, and a quality buck shows up and their knees start jumping up and down, they're not going to remember the work that they did.
Buck fever?
Absolutely.
In whitetail deer hunting, one of the topics that always comes up is cover scents, attractants, all that sort of thing. And I can tell you my experience over the last 15 years, one particular scent is one that I always use, and it appears to be the most productive and rewarding. It's deer urine. Now this is triple heat. It's from a company called Harmon's. And I buy fresh ones, every one, a little vial like that. And I squirt it all around the stand, and I'll squirt it on my hands or my gloves. It smells terrible. After all, it's deer urine. But I have had whitetail deer get within 10 feet of me, downwind, and not spook. It's because they smell this instead of me. Give it a try. It's called Harmon's Triple Heat. It's a good scent. Oh, it makes sense.
And that's the CONUS hunting tip of the week.
I feed year-round for this one day. My payoff? The stuff of legends. Record rack.
These are our Powerbelt Platinum bullets, designed especially for Magnum charges. Platinums provide optimal on-game performance at higher velocities, making them the perfect choice for shooters who use a Magnum charge. The 270 grain Powerbelt Platinum, just one of over 40 different Powerbelt bullets. Find out which one's best for your gun, game, load, and distance. Go to PowerbeltBullets.com. Powerbelt, America's #1 muzzleloading bullet.
This portion of O'Neill Outside is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources Go Fish Education Center. Georgia Power, official energy partner of you. Cass Creek, you can't get more real than Cass Creek. And the Georgia Department of Economic Development. Visit exploregeorgia.org and discover the unexpected.
Back prior to 1988, what happened that got this started?
Well, you know, a combination of accident and Ray Scott's foresight really is something that we've hunted since the 1970s, and we've always, kind of like other people, planted green fields, wheat, rye, and oats. In one year, my dad, you know, tried a bag of clover that a guy had sold him from a seed store, and he went out and planted kind of a cafeteria style, you know, oats, wheat, rye, clover, oat, and he planted that. And several different times he watched deer walking through these various cereal grain to get to this clover he planted. And he went to looking into it, and he found the agronomist that had developed this particular clover, and he talked to him about it. He said, not only is it more attractive to deer, the agronomist talking here, it's also extremely nutritious for deer, which can help the health of the herd. Dad got to looking a little deeper in that, and he said, you know, if it's working for me, and I can see the difference in the quality of my herd, and not only numbers, but quality, I think other people will be interested in it. And he rolled the dice and put his money up and started the Whitetail Institute in 1988. And as I say, the rest is history. You know, where we differentiate ourselves from, we feel like everybody else, is in the research and the development we do. I mentioned our agronomist back in 1988. He was on board until his death several years ago, and another guy's come on board with us. The agronomist we've got right now is in the Agricultural Research Hall of Fame. But these guys do plant breeding. They have developed seeds for our particular products that are only available in our products, and they're only designed, or they're specifically designed for whitetail deer. They're available nowhere else in the world. So not only are we researching specific seeds for whitetail deer, but we're providing them generally in a blend with other various type seeds that are going to differentiate themselves, you know, not only in the makeup of the blend, but also in the performance of the plot. And there's other food plot products out there, but to my knowledge, we're the only ones that have seeds that are specifically designed for deer, that have been developed by our scientists. And, you know, and I'm one of the luckiest people alive. You know, I love deer hunting, and I get to make my living in this industry and get a lot of, you know, pats on the back, and it feels pretty good to, you know, that we're making such a big difference. You know, back when we were young, we wanted to kill them all. You know, we wanted to kill as many as we possibly could. But as we've gotten older, you know, we've learned to enjoy the, I use the old saying, we've learned to enjoy the journey, the process, as opposed to the destination. The destination being shooting something. And I think I think it's Aldo Leopold, I think, was the one that said it. He said, "I don't hunt to kill, I kill to have hunted." Corny to some people maybe, but it means a lot, you know, because that is, it's a process, you know, and something that I like to emphasize to people is, you know, we promote better quality deer, you know, population control, all these management practices, and deer hunting has improved greatly, especially on the upper end of quality deer. But something people always need to remember is don't ever let the emphasis and the drive for bigger antlers and better quality deer, don't ever let it trump fun. Hunting's supposed to be fun, and the fun's in the camp. It's watching a kid kill his first deer, and if you put restrictions on a kid, now, you know, it needs to be a Boone and Crockett or don't shoot it. Let him get some success under his belt. He'll grow into your quality deer management plan, but let him kill some deer, and I think what you'll find is that the fun that you had when you were young killing all those animals, I think you'll find that fun's going to jump back up there when you see the excitement in these kids' eyes.
Yeah, it translates very well, doesn't it?
It does, and it feels good. You know, once you take a kid hunting and he kills his first deer, you've given him something that nobody ever is going to be able to give him.
What about the guy that doesn't have, he's got a four-wheeler, but he doesn't have a tractor, he doesn't have a plow. What about this guy?
Yeah, you know, we've got a lot of guys that want to get into food plots, but they just don't have the big equipment, the heavy equipment, or maybe they've got an area on their property that they can't get heavy equipment into. We've developed products specifically for that application. For example, an old logging road that's just not used anymore, or an old log landing, or just a small opening in the woods where, you know, 3 or 4 hours of sunlight can get to the ground. These smaller areas, they can make great hunting spots because generally they're surrounded by thick cover. They're off the beaten path. Maybe not anybody knows about them, but maybe you and the deer. But if they can get in there and get rid of the grass and the weeds or the leaves and the sticks and debris, just clear that stuff away and expose the dirt so that we can get good seed and soil contact, put out a little bit of fertilizer, they can create a great, you know, a very attractive private food plot. We've got a product called Secret Spot designed exactly for that, for a little 4,500
Secret spot?
Secret Spot, and it's a great way to create a secret spot known only to you and your deer. But it's something that, you know, take a buddy in half a day, half a bag of fertilizer or so, they can go in there and create them a spot that within a few weeks or certainly a month or so, they'll be attracting a lot of deer.
In a month?
Yeah. Generally, these little small clearings in the woods are surrounded by real thick, heavy cover, maybe a little harder to get to. Make sure you can get in there without jumping all the deer out of the bedding area, but sneak in on the downwind side of those places and make great places for hunting. But one of the great things about food plots is, you know, turkeys, you know, come to these food plots a great deal, so it's great for the spring. But every animal in the woods is going to benefit virtually. I mean, rabbits, you know, and the bears, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's kind of neat that what we started back in 1988 is had that kind of impact. And you know, at the end of the day, yeah, us hunters, we benefit from having a healthier herd to hunt, but at the end of the day, all the wildlife that lives on our land benefits as well.
Let's head back to the Lean-To Lodge for outdoor cooking on the Big Green Egg.
How about pizza on the Big Green Egg? Well, here's an accessory, it's brand new. It's a deep dish pizza stone. Goes right on the egg. Now, I've cooked this already, just pizza dough out of a can. This is the way we'll start. This is going to sound like a lot of ingredients, and it is, but this is a deep dish pizza, and it may feel like I'm doing things out of order, but I might be, but it's going to taste the same. So, a lot of cheese here. Here we go. And then it'll feel like we're going backwards, okay? Next thing, then wild boar and venison sausage. Remember, this is a outdoor show. Mushrooms. This is going to be a meal for a lot of guys, I'm telling you. Okay, pepperoni. Can't have a pizza without some pepperoni. Spread it all out. This one, it's a deep dish. It'll take lots of stuff. Some tomatoes, and it's got a little oil in there. Not a great deal, but you would notice it if I didn't. Remember now, this has already been cooked on the egg now for 20 minutes, and you might think, well, so what? Why don't I just cook it in the oven? Well, here, marinara. Why don't I just cook it in the oven? Well, I'm telling you, until you try it, you won't realize what cooking on natural charcoal will do, even for something like a pizza. Finally, Parmesan. Is that a deep dish or not? It is. Woo, wow. Okay, nice and gooey. Place it on the egg. 25 minutes at 425. Venison and wild boar deep dish pizza on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. Recipes on the websites.
We duck hunt every day. Sometimes, though, we disagree on where.
Where are we hunting today?
Elbow Lake Bluff. Sometimes we disagree on when to shoot. Cut 'em!
Or when to say cut 'em.
You boys too slow. One thing we do agree on, we all wear REALTREE camo.
REALTREE Extra.
Max 4.
Hey, we can't even agree to disagree.
Here, son, spray some of this. Now try it.
Hey, that works. I'm out of here.
You should. LQ5 Hunter Grade Lubricant. It is the very best you can use. It lasts and lasts because it doesn't oxidize. It prevents rust. It doesn't gum up in any kind of weather. Go to lq5performance.com, find out about it and how to order. It's all I use.
The CVA Acura V2 with its premium Bergara barrel. The Acura is guaranteed to outshoot any other muzzleloader or your money back. Visit CVA.com for details.
GearOneWheels.com is your source for muscle car wheels. Classic styles in original and modern sizes. And now available 17-inch 5-spoke and snowflake wheels as low as $199 each. Update your muscle car now. Visit GearOneWheels.com.
It's for those who get up early on weekends and those who'd rather rough it than take it easy. It's for those who know it's not just a sport, but a way of life. The new Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing system keeps food fresh up to 5 times longer with a rugged design and 12-volt adapter cord for easy use in the field, ensuring your game and fish is fresh when you need it. The Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing system. Fielded fresh, sealed fresh.
I love Kona scopes, so it's no surprise to O'Neill that the new M30 is recommended by the National Tactical Officers Association. Designed for hunters and tactical shooters, the M30s offer more features than any other scope, including a built-in level bubble for long-range shooting, the Konus engraved reticle for durability, and the Konus lifetime replacement warranty. Konus Pro M30s, shoot like a pro.
There's more O'Neill Outside coming up. But first, let's thank our sponsors. Konus Scopes and Spotting Scopes. What's your game? Liquifix LQ5 Hunter Grade Lubricant. The Food Saver Game Saver Vacuum Sealing System. Hodgdon Powder, the gunpowder people. And Gun Protect. Lock out corrosion at the molecular level.
There's a point that you made with me in a conversation before we came over about the advances in technology and bullets and powder and bows and arrows, all of that kind of stuff. But you've got a better point to be made in that regard.
Yeah, I feel real strongly about this, and there's technologies advanced so much it's amazing. Faster bows, better guns, better camouflage, better clothing, better boots, what have you. But all this stuff is designed really to make us more comfortable and effective as a hunter and give us an advantage over the game that we're hunting. One of the things about food plots that I don't think is talked about enough is we do it, there's no question, with an ulterior motive. We want to attract deer and we want to have more quality deer. But at the end of the day, all the animals in the outdoors benefit. And it's something that I've done it in writing before, and I got people that I encourage them to challenge the anti-hunting groups that are out there and aren't going anywhere. You know, hunters that do food plots are putting their money where their mouth is, and the animals are benefiting. And I challenge these other people that, anti-hunters or whatever you want to call them, what are you doing other than talking? We're walking the walk. I think they're talking their talk.
You want more information about what you should do or not do? How do you get started? Well, then just go to Whitetail Institute. 2, newsletter.
Absolutely. We've got a bunch of different ways we can get them information. They can give us our email address, go to whitetailinstitute.com, put their email address in there, we'll give them a free newsletter virtually. It comes out about right at every month.
I get it every month.
Okay.
It's good, well done.
I appreciate that. And we also do a magazine 3 times a year called Whitetail News that goes to our customer base. That's another way. Our 800 number with our consultants, that's another way. The best way for somebody, whether they're getting started, they've been doing it for a little while, or they're an expert, the best way to get information on what we've talked about today and going much deeper is we offer a DVD that's right at an hour long, and along with 7 samples of seed. They're small samples.
Oh, you get samples of seeds?
You do. They're small. They plant a little 10-foot by 10-foot area, but it's enough for them to test if they want to. But the main thing they'll get is that DVD that is full of information. And again, it's right at an hour long. It goes from everything from it got stuff from the guy who's just starting to the most expert guy, and there's information in there that'll benefit them all. It's free. All they'll pay is shipping and handling. They can go to our website and get it. They can call our 800 number, 800-688-3030. Either way, they can get that DVD, and that's the best information they'll get.
And now you have the information, and I expect you'll have a food plot in next season.
Absolutely, they'll be happy to do.
And big old deer walking around.
Absolutely, I hope so too. Send me a picture when you do.
That's it. Yeah, send a photo to Steve.
Absolutely.